Toyota IST versus Toyota Auris, two hatchbacks from the same manufacturer that have had successful sales in the Kenyan market. We are going to be comparing the 2016 model of the IST since it was the last model year of production, while for the Auris we will be taking a look at the 2017 model. This is going to be a bit of a different comparison review. We will not start with the prices. The prices will come last as we try and see which one between these two hatchbacks offers the best value for money. So please stay tuned for that. As always, if you are new here, kindly consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. And for the returning viewers, thanks a lot. Keep watching, sharing, and commenting. Your support is much appreciated. Apart from informative content on cars and bikes, we also offer car consultation, independent reviews, and sourcing of new as well as local used vehicles. Welcome to iCave Auto Reviews. So the 2016 IST is the second generation, which was in production from 2007 till 2016, after which its production was unfortunately discontinued, while the 2017 Auris, on the other hand, is also the second generation, which was in production from 2013 till 2017. Today, let's begin with the engine options. The IST is very simple and straightforward. It comes with the famous 1NZ FE 1500cc petrol engine that is paired to a CVT gearbox, and it's available in either front or all-wheel drive. We've talked about this powertrain in other IST comparison reviews. It's an engine that is extremely reliable and easy to live with in terms of maintenance. The spare parts are readily available in almost all outlets. It's an engine that will give you decent power and good efficiency as well. The transmission is also quite reliable. Yes, it's not as bulletproof as the older conventional 4-speed torque converter automatic, but still it's not too bad if you take good care of it by using the recommended CVTF and avoiding rapid and hard accelerations. As I said in the previous video, CVTs are meant for smooth and very linear power delivery to aid in good fuel consumption. So if you frequently tend to expose the vehicle to hard accelerations, you'll be straining that gearbox, and with time it will certainly give up. On to the Toyota Auris, it comes with a plethora of engine options. You can get a 1.3, a 1.5, a 1.8 hybrid, a 1.2 turbocharged, and lastly a rare 1.6 turbo diesel. Those are 5 engine options. The pre-facelifted Auris was very simple. It had around 3 engine options, but the 2016 facelift brought about even more options. This car, just like the IST, is available in either front or all-wheel drive, and transmission-wise, the most common option is a CVT. Then there's also the option of a 5 or 6-speed manual, though a bit rare. You'll mostly get them from UK imports. Now, the Auris has a very strong reputation for reliability, especially the naturally aspirated options, such as the 1.3 and 1.5. The 1.3 is a bit lacking in terms of power, but the 1.5 is better. It strikes a good balance between power and efficiency. The 1.2 turbo is a new powertrain in our market, and with turbocharged engines, a lot of care is needed. Use the right recommended oil and always make sure you service the car after the recommended mileage. These are not engines that can take a beating like the naturally aspirated options. If you are not that careful, the first thing to go will be the turbo due to inadequate or contaminated oil, and replacing or repairing that turbo will certainly not be cheap. That said, that 1.2-liter engine is very spirited. It's rev happy and sensitive to throttle inputs. So off the line it feels powerful enough. The response is much more instant compared to the 1.5 or 1.3. The hybrid is another well-tried and tested engine. It's very reliable, but as I always say, only go for a low mileage hybrid so that you can be able to fully maximize on the hybrid battery's life. That's the only way in which the fuel savings on a hybrid will make sense, because those savings should exceed the battery replacement cost. Lastly, the diesel option is rare but very efficient and torquey, though sensitive due to things like the DPF and turbo. That's the norm with these modern diesel engines. In fact, you really don't need the diesel option. The petrol options are good enough in terms of reliability, efficiency, and performance. Let's now talk about the consumption of these engines. The 1.5 liter in the IST will give anywhere between 10 to around 16 kilometers per liter depending on traffic, how you drive, and also on how much weight the vehicle is carrying. The 1.3 in the Auris will give up to an impressive 19 kilometers per liter, again depending on the aforementioned factors. The 1.5 will return up to 17 kilometers per liter, the 1.2 turbo between 14 to an impressive 21 kilometers per liter, the 1.6 liter diesel up to another impressive 20 kilometers per liter, and last but not least, the hybrid. Now, this hybrid has a claimed efficiency figure of around 28 kilometers per liter from the manufacturer, but the real world figures are not anywhere near that. In fact, I had a client who was achieving around 18 kilometers per liter on average, and to get over 20 kilometers per liter, you must be very gentle on the accelerator. The engine itself is quite big, being an 1800cc. If it was maybe a 1.5 like in the field hybrid, then it would definitely achieve better figures. So it sort of tends to beat the logic of a hybrid. In fact, the only advantage that it offers is that in cities or towns, you can drive the car on EV mode, but at low speeds for short distances. But once the engine kicks in, consumption will significantly go high. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, it's efficient, but to get those very good figures, you have to be very careful on the throttle. And surprisingly, you can get almost the same figures on the 1.2 liter turbo. So that's why I'm saying it beats the logic of having a hybrid. The IST gets a 42 liter fuel tank, while non-hybrid variants of the Auris get a 50 liter tank, and the hybrids are slightly smaller 45 liter tank. Ground clearance on the IST is good enough, measuring in at 145 millimeters. It will comfortably clear most bumps without much of a problem. This is one of the few cars that you can live with without having to modify the ground clearance. The Auris, on the other hand, has a clearance of around 140 millimeters. Not too bad, but some bumps will pose a challenge. Stopping power is made possible by ventilated discs at the front in both cars, while at the back, the Auris and top trim levels of the IST get solid discs. The lower variants of the IST get drums. Now let's also look into their suspension systems. Both cars get McPherson struts at the front and torsion bars at the back. So comfort-wise, most of the road undulations are ironed out to provide that comfortable and soft ride. So what about safety? The Toyota IST comes standard with ABS, EBD, brake assist, traction control, electronic stability program, driver, passenger, side and curtain airbags. So it's relatively a safe car, but unfortunately it misses out on some of the modern active driver assist safety features. Onto the Auris, it gets even better. The standard safety features are ABS, traction control, dynamic stability control, driver and passenger airbags. Now, to get more safety features, you have to go for a higher trim level, which adds Toyota Safety Sense that incorporates lane departure alert, which will warn you if you start getting out of your lane. There's also collision mitigation, which will automatically engage the brakes if the system detects that you are on the verge of hitting something, yet you are not reacting by applying the brakes. Then there's also side and curtain airbags. So the upper trim levels of the Toyota Auris are better in terms of safety. But do take note of this. The sensors and cameras of these active driver assist safety features are mostly located on the windscreen and the lower side of the bumper. So in the unfortunate event that you end up in a collision, some of these systems may be rendered redundant. Like for example, replacing a cracked windscreen with those cameras and sensors can be very expensive and even difficult to get back those systems in good working order. The carb weight of the IST measures in between 1150 to 1210 kgs, while that of the Auris measures in between 1190 to 1480 kgs, with the hybrid variants being the heaviest. Lastly, some of the extra features you can expect to get in these cars include fog lights, keyless entry and go, alloy wheels, multifunction leather-wrapped steering wheel, and in addition to this, The Toyota Auris can even come with better kit such as a panoramic glass roof, cruise control, paddle shifts, a rear spoiler, and the aforementioned Toyota Safety Sense, which is a suite of active driver assist safety features. Now, how about the prices of these vehicles? A 2016 IST will set you back between 1.4 to around 1.65 million, while a 2017 Auris will set you back between 1.7 to around 1.95, depending on the trim level. So looking at these prices and what these vehicles have to offer, I will say the Auris justifies its higher asking price. And why do I say that? To begin with, both cars are very reliable, efficient, and affordable to maintain. Even in terms of resale value, they both do very well. But the Toyota Auris edges out the IST in terms of space. It has a longer wheelbase, and this translates in a more spacious interior. Secondly, it looks very elegant and better than the IST. Thirdly, it's a safer car, especially if you get the higher trim levels, which come with the aforementioned active driver assist safety features. Lastly, it also comes with even more optional features such as cruise control, a panoramic glass roof, and a sports tuned suspension, larger brakes, and rear spoiler that you can get in the RS grade. So you essentially get more kit, more space, better looks, and even better efficiency and performance in the Auris. And I think this justifies that price difference. But do let me know your opinion in the comment section. If you go for a top trim IST, you'll part with around 1.65 million, and if you go with the top trim Auris, you'll part with around 1.9 million, and I bet you'll certainly feel that 250,000 shillings price difference has been well spent and is justified. In terms of their weak points, the IST is a basic car, but the price is a bit steep. Although it's cheaper compared to the Auris, but looking at it in isolation, it seems a bit overrated. The Auris, on the other hand, is also quite expensive. Yes, it offers more compared to the IST, but again, it's still on the expensive side, and we could blame this on car prices, which have been on an upward trajectory of late. Another con is the sensitive diesel and turbo engine options. So there you have it. If you're on a tight budget, get the IST. It's very dependable, efficient, has good ground clearance, and resale value. But on the other hand, if finances allow, then just get the Toyota Auris. It's a better value proposition and offers more for the money, and that's why it's my recommendation in this particular comparison. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Which one will you go for? I hope this has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, if you have any inquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. That's it for today. Stay safe, drive safe, ride safe, and see you in the next one.